Unbelievable. Wow. So beautiful to see it. To me, it's so beautiful. These are great people. You're great people. This is a movement. It's a movement going on. They're all talking about it. Look this week at the cover of Time magazine. We finally, and I say we, not me, we finally got a fair story. It's the most unbelievable story about what's happening. You got to read it. Time magazine. Take a look. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I want to thank you all. And by the way, really important, over here, this state, we're way ahead, but you have to go and register. Otherwise, they're not going to let you vote. So go out of here and register, or you can't vote. And you know what's going to happen if you don't vote? Our country's going to go to hell, because that's what's happening. That's what's happening. That's what's happening. And it's very sad to see. You look at these deals, you look at this. Take a look at some of the deals being made. The Iran deal, we'll talk about it. But just look at what's happening to our country now. And we can't have it anymore. You know, I was reading today about trade. And I like trade. But we got to sort of at least let's make a couple of bucks or break even, right? China. We have a trade deficit with China of $505 billion last year. Who the hell? You know, I always say I'm a free trader. I believe. I want to trade. Honestly, I don't want to really trade with people where we lose that much money. Too much. I don't want to really lose anything. I want to sort of aren't we supposed to make money at these deals? Right? You know, I'm evolving on the whole thing of trade, and I've become more and more, when you talk about nationalists, you know, say what you want. Some people say, oh, nationalist, that doesn't sound good. I want our country to be great again. I want our country to be great again. You look at what's going on, seriously. You look at this whole thing, and a lot of things have evolved since my famous escalator trip down. We went down the escalator with my wife, Melania, who's been great. She said, darling, you know if you run, you're going to win because people really like you. I said, well, she was my pollster. She was my pollster. I didn't hire any pollsters. I have all these people. They can't talk without a pollster. They always have, you know what these are called, right? What are they called? Right? Right? Teleprompters, right? Did you ever see anyone? They always talk with teleprompters. They come in, they read for 15 minutes. Thank you very much. I like Reno very much, even though they were never here. I've spent a lot of time in Reno. I like Reno. I like it. I like it. And we're going to bring this back, too. We're going to bring jobs back because it's changed a lot. Reno's really changed. What they're doing is changing. And a lot of things can happen. Right now, it's a little bit tough, but a lot of things can happen. We bring jobs back. A place like this is going to be a big, fat, beautiful beneficiary. Right now, you are not partaking in the action, right? That's why so many. And by the way, your police force met me today at the plane. They are great. Where are those guys? I'd bring them up here. I'll tell you what, I never saw so many great guys. They're driving those beautiful motorcycles. I felt so safe. I felt like 100. Where are the police? Where are they? They're all over the place. You guys have been great. Great. If you want to come up, come up. They don't get enough. I'll tell you. The police of our country, they're being abused, frankly. They're being abused. They're not being treated properly. And I just want to tell you, you know, you're always going to have a bad apple. And if somebody does something, it's always the biggest story in the news and it's a horror show. They don't show the incredible work that the police of this country do. And they don't get enough credit, okay? So I want to thank all of you guys. You did great. So we have a big thing coming up, and now on February 1st, you know, we start, you know the whole deal. We start with Iowa, and I think I'm going to do great in Iowa. It's going to be interesting. I think I'm going to do great. They have me essentially statistically tied, but a lot of people say, you know, he's going to do much better than the polls are even saying. And you know what? I take the polls, because in every poll, other than Iowa, where I'm essentially tied, where I personally think we're going to do great, I'm doing great with the evangelicals, great with the Tea Party, We're doing so well generally. But every poll in New Hampshire, we're through the roof. In South Carolina, we're winning by so much. In fact, people are already conceding, who's going to be second in New Hampshire? Who's going to be second in South? I love that, you know. I love hearing that. But, do you ever hear of a place called Nevada? Don't we love it? Don't we love it? Hey, don't forget, I spent $700 million building a building in Nevada, right? So I have a stake. I have a stake. And it's a great Trump International Hotel, and it's been a great success, and we love it and all that stuff. But, you know, put a lot of jobs to work. One thing I can tell you, I know all the candidates. None of them have spent $700 million in the state. Do we agree? Okay? They haven't spent $7 in the state. So anyway, and it's a great place, and I know the people well. And we actually, they did a poll, I'm leading in Nevada by a lot. But I'm also leading, and it's important to me because I say I'm bringing back jobs, they get it. I'm leading with Hispanics in the state of Nevada. Big league. Big league. And I say we're going to win with Hispanics. You know, they give me a hard time with all the press. Look at these people back there. By the way, the most dishonest people you'll ever find. That's why I say read Time Magazine. It was such an honest piece. But, you know, see the cameras? When I go home, my wife will ask me, were there many people there today? Okay? Because the only people that they're going to show... So she'll say, oh, is that... Oh, it didn't look like that big. Now, they're going to become very famous. Maybe they don't have as good a location as you, but they're going to become famous because they're going to get all the airtime. But honestly, if the cameras would show the room, you know, I always say show the room, you won't even believe it. This place is packed. It's packed. You see that center camera? It's not moving. Are you going to move it? Move it? Show the room. Show the room. Show the room. Move it. He won't move it. They're just dishonest people. They won't move it. And it happened. Look at these thousands. I don't know, 6,000, 7,000. They have thousands of people outside trying to get in. By the way, should we stop for 20 minutes and let them get in? No. No. But we have a lot of people outside trying to get in, and I apologize to them, but we wanted to get it started. Do we agree? So, the polls come out. Reuters, Trump 42, Cruz 16, Carson 12, Bush. Oh. That's just it. He spent $68 million on the campaign. I've spent like nothing. Wouldn't it be nice? But now I'm going to spend because I don't want to take any chances, right? I don't want to. Somebody said, you have a big lead everywhere. Why are you spending? Okay, first they used to say, when are you spending? This is the press. They'd say, when are you spending? And I haven't needed to because they put me on so much because of ratings. Not because they like me, they hate me. But when I get on, they like The Apprentice. They get good ratings. It's the old story. But, they said, so why haven't you spent? So I said, well, I haven't needed to. I have a 29-point lead. And they said, oh, well, it's only the right choice. Trump hasn't spent. Then they say, now I said, I just bought, because I just don't want to take a chance. I don't want to be out there and say, I'm a wise guy. I didn't spend. And then for some reason we get snapped at the end. No good, right? So now I'm spending millions. So now they're saying, why are you spending? Is there something wrong? You can't win. It's like at some point we may have a protester. Could we have a protester right over there in that corner of the room? Because these guys will turn those cameras so fast, and the only time people see how many people are here is when there's a protester. I love protesters. I love protesters. It's unbelievable. So we're spending like a couple of $1 million a week on ads here, and we're spending in Iowa, we're spending in New Hampshire, we're spending in South Carolina, and, I think we're going to do great. But we're going to run it. If Iowa's important to me. And, I shouldn't say that. I should say, doesn't matter. Because that way, no matter what I do, they say I did great. But I don't want to say, I would love to win Iowa. We'll see what happens. I think I'm going to do great there. If we win Iowa, I think we run the table. I think we run the table. Because the SEC, they call it the SEC, we're doing great. Georgia is unbelievable, the polls. New England is unbelievable. Massachusetts, I had a 52%. This is with all these people. Now, it helps that Tom Brady likes me. That helps, in Massachusetts. Always good when Tom likes. He's a great guy. And when he likes you, that's a good thing. But we're doing really well, and we're going to make our country great again. We're going to turn it around. We're going to do things that are great. So with Reuters, we're 42-16. With Fox News, which just came out, 35, 20, 13. Then they're all in the low numbers, not much. Here's a big one, and I think it's very important. This came out last night, I guess. Trump versus, has anyone heard of somebody named Hillary Clinton? So Trump in a race, and I haven't even started on her, just so you understand. And it's like me in business. You have to do what you have to do. I wish we had a president that would do this, because he signals to the enemy. He tells the enemy, we are leaving Iraq on a certain day. So everyone says, the enemy sits back. I figured when he said that, I said, that's smart. It's camouflage. He's really not. He's going to get them sleeping and knock the hell out of them, but it doesn't work that way. Even though we shouldn't have been there in the first place, in all fairness. But then, when we got out, we left the wrong way. Okay? So he gives a date. We're leaving in 18 months. And he gives an exact date. So they pull back, we leave, and now they knock the hell out of everything. It's a mess, right? And then he says, how about the 50 people a few weeks ago? We are sending 50 people, right, to Iraq. We're sending 50 people to... Now, first of all, it's not impressive for the 50 people. So the enemy says two things. Number one, that's not very many, even though they're very elite. That's not very many. So he's not even doing good PR-wise, He knows nothing about... This is not P.T. Barnum we're talking about. We need a P.T. Barnum. I'll tell you what, we need energy in this country of ours, because we're losing our spirit. No, we're losing our spirit. We are losing our spirit. We need somebody that's going to be a cheerleader. And I thought he would have been a good cheerleader, and he's really been a tremendous divider. And that's what's happened. And, but who would say we're sending 50 people? Now, number one, it doesn't sound good because 50 is not enough in terms of, psychology. But more importantly, the enemy is now looking for those 50 people. Seriously. If he didn't say that, I'm serious about this, the enemy is looking for those 50 people. These are elite people. They're being sent to do a job, a dangerous job. Why would you announce to ISIS and announce to our enemies over there, of which we have a lot, that we're sending 50 people? They're looking for those people, and those people right now have a target on their back, because this guy has to say what the hell he's doing. There's no unpredictability. We need General George Patton. We need General Douglas MacArthur. So, that's what we need. We need unpredictability. Frankly, he should say, we're never, ever, ever leading. And you know what they'll say? Oh, man, this guy's crazy. Let's just give it up, and they'll leave. You understand that? And then I always said, keep the oil, right? Keep the oil. And I said this so much for years. I've been saying it. And they would say, well, you can't really do that. You can't keep it. Oh, really? You can't keep it? Tell them. Tell that to General Patton. We can't keep the oil, General. Oh, okay. I said, keep the oil. So about 4 weeks ago, right after Paris, they said, no, we're going after the oil. In the meantime, ISIS has the oil. They've become so rich. And I said, keep it. I said, hit it, but keep it. And I said, we'll take some of the tremendous profits from the oil, and we'll give them to the families who lost wonderful loved ones in Iraq, and the wounded warriors, and the veterans, because we're not taking care of our veterans. And we'll take some of that money, and it wouldn't even be much because it's such a big number. So ISIS would make $1 million a day, think of it, because we decided we're leaving. You know, in the old days, to the victor belong the spoils, right? In the old days, you left, you got something, right? You're in a war. You leave, we're the only country. We go, we have a war, and we leave. What do we get? $2 trillion it cost us. Thousands of lives, wounded warriors who I love, who we all love, who are braver than all of us, all over the place. All over the place. We get nothing because we have incompetent leaders at the top. We don't know what we're doing. They have no clue. You know, I wrote a book. By the way, the numbers on Hillary. Trump, 47. Hillary Clinton, 44. Trump wins. And I haven't even started. I haven't started on that. In Iowa, CNN, Trump 33. They never report this. They only report the ones where I'm a little bit behind. They never report the ones where I'm ahead. Trump 33, Cruz 20. Do you ever hear that? It's CNN. I guarantee it was the most expensive poll. They show this stupid newspaper that nobody reads, Des Moines Register. It does a poll of like a few hundred people. I wonder if they take a couple of those votes. They don't like me too much. I don't even let them come into our news conferences. They take a couple of votes. I wonder if those votes disappear. You know, when you're interviewing 300 or 400 people, I don't even know how you can do that and have an accurate poll anyway. But CNN, Trump 33, Cruz 20. Now in New Hampshire, we are really doing well. Trump 32. Wow. Is this a mistake? This is incredible numbers. We're ahead by 20 points. Oh, just came out. Wow. Wow, that's beautiful. I love that. Whoa. That must be a mistake. It's not a mistake. It's true. South Carolina, CBS. South Carolina, great state. Unbelievable people. Like this, they have the same spirit. It's like the same. It's like the same. I'm telling you, it's here. It's all over. We go to Texas. We go to Dallas. We have 21,000. We went to Oklahoma. We had 20,000 people standing in a park. No matter where we go, I'll tell you what, no matter where we go, we're going next week to Pensacola. I hear it's going to be incredible. And you know, I do a lot of these. I do them like, we want to win. We got to win. And I say that Hillary Clinton doesn't have the strength, the stamina, and like Jeb Bush, doesn't have the energy. Doesn't have the energy. You know? She doesn't. She'll do one event, and then you don't see her for a week. She goes away. She goes away. She does one event, and we don't see her. Okay, so we beat Hillary, but look at this, South Carolina. Trump, and these people are amazing in South Carolina. Trump, 38. Cruz, 23, second place. 38. Second place is 23. And we're going up and he's going down. So, I mean, there's a lot of good things happening out there. A lot of good things happening. A lot of beautiful things happening with incredible people. So let's talk a little bit about, remember, register. Go register. Don't forget that. I don't want to mention it again. Got to register. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to vote and it's going to be terrible. You can't do that. So let's talk a little bit because there's some controversy within the party. I like Ted Cruz. He's been very nice to me. He's the only one. I mean, honestly, he's been nice to me. A lot of people do not like him. I like him, okay? A lot of people don't like him. A lot of the senators. And that's probably an asset that a lot of the people don't like him because, frankly, those people, think of the budget they just passed. That's a disgrace. That budget, that gave Obama money for Obamacare. It gave him money for Syrians coming into this country that we have no idea who they are. It gave them money so that the border people can just flow through. I mean, we have nobody. We don't know what the hell we're doing. But we'll talk about that. We're going to have such a strong border. And we're going to build a wall, and that wall's going to be a real wall. Believe me. So Cruz is a problem. So the question is, I don't know if have you been following this whole thing about where he was born? And here's the problem. It's called uncertainty. It's called, you just don't know. Now, already, a congressman and another congressman, and by the time, it's going to happen. Does anybody know more about litigation than Trump? Okay? I know a lot. I'm like a PhD in litigation, okay? And what's going to happen is the other side will bring a suit. Now, is he a natural-born citizen? Some people, I don't know. Honestly, we don't know. Who the hell knows? But you can't be running. It's sort of like Hillary's got a problem, too. She doesn't know whether or not she's going to be indicted. Okay? She doesn't know. Now, in all fairness, I dream of running against Bernie Sanders. Does anybody here want to pay 90% in taxes? Because that's what Bernie Sanders wants to do. He wants 90% tax rates. I'll tell you what, I would dream of running against this guy. I watch him. Forget it. First of all, he's not even a Democrat. He's from the independent. He's an independent. I don't even know how he can run, but I would love to run against Bernie Sanders, but we can't be that lucky. We can't be that lucky. Oh, would I love it. That would be like a dream come through. But to show you what's happening, if you look over there, from their standpoint, she should never be allowed to run because what she did is totally illegal. Totally illegal. General Petraeus and many others have suffered greatly because of doing 5% of what she did. Now, the only question is, are they going to give her a pass because of the fact that the Democrats control the process, okay? And I think if they do that, I think it's going to be actually very bad from an election standpoint for her. And, honestly, if a Republican gets in, they're going to end up doing something anyway because you have to go by the law. But the law is so against her, and it'll be very interesting to see what they do. Okay, so she's got the cloud hanging over her head. But Ted Cruz has a real cloud hanging over his head. So the question is Ted Cruz, is he a natural-born citizen? Now, his mother was in Canada. He was a citizen. I just heard this. He was a citizen of Canada for a long time. In fact, they asked him the other day, why didn't you revoke? I think like 14, 15 months ago, he revoked it. But he was a citizen of the United States, I believe, and Canada simultaneously. What's going on here? So he's got to straighten these things out. And they asked him, why didn't you revoke your citizenship a long time? He's a United States senator and he's a citizen of Canada. Why didn't you do it sooner? And he said he didn't know about it. Okay. Does he get a pass on that? So here's the story. We all know Harvard's a good school. Their business school is not as good as the Wharton School of Finance, that we know. But they do have a great law school. And the law school is one of the top people in the country in terms of constitutional law is Professor Lawrence Tribe, a brilliant man. And he said yesterday, this is not a settled matter, because Ted's going around saying, this matter is settled. It's not a settled matter. And I'm not speaking, because I would rather win it straight up. It's one of those deals. I'd like to, if I'm a fighter, I want to knock the guy out. I don't want to default because he couldn't, meet the weight class or something. Although I'll take that too. But maybe I'd like that better. I don't know. You don't have to worry about what you look like after the fight. No, I'd like to win it straight up. And we're winning all the polls, and we're doing great, so I think we will. But Professor Lawrence Tribe, and they don't talk about him on television. It's amazing. But he said it yesterday. This is not a settled matter. It is wrong to say, this is a quote, it is wrong to say it is a settled matter because it is not. It has not been tested, and it has not gone to the Supreme Court. And he happens to feel, he represented McCain. And he said, I've never liked it. And McCain was born, he was born on a military base outside of the country. Both parents were citizens born on a military base, and I understand that. Do we understand? I sort of, that's good. The parents are military, they're on a base. What are you going to do? I mean, now if you're from another country, you can cross the border, have the baby's with us forever, we take care of the baby. That's not good, and that's not going to happen anymore, okay? That's not happening anymore. Believe me. You listen to all these guys, they say, well, you'd have to pass a new constitutional amendment. You don't. All you need is a vote of Congress. I was right on it. People, and I said, you know how I was right? Common sense. I said, they got to be legal. If they're illegal and they have a baby here, we do not have to don't listen to these people. Don't listen to the liberal press. We do not have to take care of that baby. They call them anchor babies. We do not have to take care of that baby. Okay? For 85 years. So with Ted, who was very weak on amnesty, I tell you what, he was totally in favor of amnesty, and he was weak on illegal immigration. Now he's changing his tune. In fact, I'll read this. This just came out. Ted just announced today, he put out a thing. You won't believe this. I never heard this. It just happened. I guess they put it out today, yesterday. You'll believe it. Listen to this. This is on illegal immigration. Now, the only one that said this is me. Ready? First sentence. It begins by building a wall. Guess what? Whoa! And by the way, he's a good guy, but then it's triple the number of Border Patrol officers. I've had that, I say it all the time. Implement E-Verify. I say it all the time. But when he said because the other stuff, people don't know. I mean, it's been in my thing for a long time, but that's okay. But it begins by building. I mean, I've been talking about the wall. And by the way, who's going to pay for the wall? Mexico. Now, no politician is getting Mexico to pay for the wall. In fact, Ted doesn't say Mexico's paying for the wall, so right there, he's behind the eight ball. Mexico is paying for the wall. Mexico, we have a trade deficit of Mexico that's embarrassing, okay? They make so much money every year with the and I'm not talking about the drugs that get sent over here. I'm not even including that. They send over billions of dollars of drugs. So we get the drugs and they get the cash. It goes back like this, back and forth. They get cash. And I was over there. I was in Laredo, Texas. I've gotten very friendly with the Border Patrol. They're incredible people. They're told to stand down. When somebody walks in, stand down. Meaning, here they are. They're all beautiful people, great people. They've got the guns. They've got the vests. They've got the whole deal. Stand down. People walk right across. And you know what? These are great people. They called me. I didn't call them. They said, Mr. Trump would love to meet with you. It's so horrible what's going on. They want to protect the border. They're told to stand down. It is so sad what's happening to our country. We are becoming the dumping ground for the rest of the world. We are. We're like a dumping ground. We're like the stupid people that don't know what they're doing. And it's very, very sad. So, there's been a big shift. And the reason they're doing Time magazine and all these magazines covers, because there's never been anything like this. There's never been anything like it. Now, if you don't register, if you don't vote, that could happen. A lot of these people are saying, I watched the shows this morning, Meet the Press and the whole thing. And a lot of them say, well, we agree. If Trump's people, the people that come to hear him speak, if they go out and vote, he wins easily. Okay? But we don't think they're going to go out and vote. And I'm saying to myself, look at the spirit in this room, okay? No, but think. They hope. By the way, these guys who are bad guys, Roves, who's a total idiot, the Karl Roves, and George Will, take away his glasses and he's a stupid-looking man, okay? Believe me. His little spectacles. Hello, I'm Karl. Between him and George Will, I could name others, but some of them have actually come along, so I'm not going to name because they're actually coming along. They've come a long way. They used to say, he's not going to run. Then they say, oh, he's running. What do we say now? He's not going to win. And he's not going to file his financial statements. Then I filed the statements. How good were those statements? I would have filed them anyway. They all thought maybe he's not as rich as I said. It turned out he was much richer. They said that nobody's ever seen so much press at the federal election office as was there when I filed. They were hoping it would say, oh, things aren't so good. Well, it turned out much better. I built a great company. Low debt, tremendous cash flow, all certified, all big numbers. On The Apprentice, Trump made, hard to believe. You want to hear a number? Hard, it's embarrassing. On just The Apprentice, I made certified. I can't write this. $213 million. Is that sick? No, is that sick? Is that crazy? So they said, man, these are great numbers. I probably would have filed them even if I didn't run because I wanted to brag about my company. But truthfully, I'm not bragging. I'm just saying this is the kind of mentality we need to run our country. We need this mentality. We owe $19 trillion because of the dumb budget that was just passed. It almost automatically goes $21 trillion. Oh, we have a woman just fainted. Okay, take your time. Take your time. Do we have a doctor? Doctor? Do we have? Okay, take your time. Take your time. Well, we love you too. Doing okay? Doing okay? She doing okay? Okay. So you have doctors? You have water? Do you have water? Get some water over there right away, please. Right away. Get some water over. She okay? Okay. Yeah, get some nice air put in there. We love our people. We got to take care of our people. No, we got to take care of our people. We got to take care of our people. Who cares? We'll hold it for a couple of minutes, okay? We got to take care of our people. These are great people. She was here. You know, some of these people came at 7 o'clock in the morning, and we got to take care of our people. Hillary for prison is right. How is she doing? I love her too. Just tell her to take it easy. Take it easy. Is she doing all right? Okay. Well, you just go ahead. Just gently walk her out and she'll be fine. She'll be fine. But let her rest backstage and she can come in for the end. That's beautiful. I love her. I love these people. I love you people. Good job, doctor. Where's the doctor? A young doctor, young, handsome doctor. Good. 2 doctors. We got a lot of doctors. We got great people in our audience. She's surrounded by doctors. She's surrounded by doctors. No thanks to Obamacare, that I can tell you. No? Surrounded by doctors. They're great. They're great. And they're being put through the ringer. I have a friend who's a doctor. He's going to leave the practice. He said, I need more accountants than I need nurses now. It's so complicated and so ridiculous. So how's she doing? Good? Beautiful. I love it. Thank you, darling. I love it. So what we're going to do, you take your time. Okay, she said, go ahead. We're going to go ahead. And if she wants me to stop, I'll stop on a dime, okay? We're going to go ahead. Thank you very much. So Ted has to solve his problem. He's got a big problem. And the problem isn't me, and the problem isn't anybody. It's the fact that if he were lucky enough to win, which I don't think he's going to, but if he were lucky enough to win, and he's your candidate, he's going to be sued by the Democrats. They've already said they are going to be suing him on the definition, and it's right here, on the definition, is he natural born? And a lot of people think that means you have to be born on the land, not born in Canada. and he was born in Canada. So Professor Lawrence Tribe is the expert. He says you got a lot of problems there. Let's see what happens. But there is a doubt. We can't have a doubt. We can win this election. We can win it fast. I think Ted should go in for what's called a declaratory judgment. You go to the court, you present your papers, the court will rule immediately, and you'll get an answer. But you can't go in with doubt. And people have, by the way, people have said this. Numerous, even senators have said there is a doubt. So Ted has, and I say this as a friend of the party and as a friend of Ted, he's got to go in and get a declaratory judgment. He's got to get a ruling to determine if he wins. Can he run? Is he allowed to run? Is he allowed to serve? Does that make sense to anybody? So that's it. So when we began this journey, it was June 16th. It was in New York. And it takes courage to run for president. And all my life I've heard if you're a successful person, especially very successful, you can't run. My whole life I do deals and deals and deals, and I've done great. But you can't run. You've done a lot of deals where you beat the hell out of people. You make a lot of enemies. That's what we want, isn't it? We want to make good deals for the country. And some of the deals aren't pretty, and they're not nice. And then even in bad markets, I've taken deals that should be terrible and I've made them good. I've taken deals where the market collapses. An example is the building I built in Las Vegas. We can study that. It collapsed. The market collapsed right smack in the middle of construction. And I fought and fought and fought. And I beat the hell out of the banks. They were fine. But I beat the crap out of the banks. Oh, those poor banks. Oh, those poor banks. One of the bankers said, when you walk down the sidewalk, I get the shakes. So what should have been a nice, easy deal, we love you. We love you. Look at her. She's beautiful. We love you. Those are the people I really like. Those are great people. Thank you, darling. So amazing. So what you really have to see is who's able to take the deals that should be bad. You build, everything's good, then the market collapses. You remember, a lot of you went through it. Some came through, some didn't. I came through better. The deal's better than if it had been a straight-up deal. Same with Atlantic City. Wall Street Journal wrote a story last week. I made a fortune in Atlantic City. I made a lot of money in Atlantic City. People say, oh, he didn't do this, he didn't do that. I made a lot of money in Atlantic City. Now I made a fortune, and Atlantic City's gone down the tubes. I made a lot of money there. I used every trick in the book. Okay, every trick in the book. And the smart people, the really smart business people say, Donald, I wish I did as badly as you did in Atlantic City. They know what I do. That's what I do. And we have to use that in the country because we have a country that's bust. We have a country, think of it. We owe $19 trillion. We owe $1.6 trillion to China. We owe $1.5 trillion we're talking about. We owe $1.5 trillion to Japan. So think of it. They take their cars, they come in from Japan, they come on the biggest ships I've seen in I was in Los Angeles, the biggest ships I've ever seen. Thousands of cars pouring off these ships, selling us millions and millions of cars. We owe them money. That's like a magic act for them. Those days are over, folks. We have the power. We have the power. It's over. It's over. And we're going to get along with them. Do you know that we have a military who I love? We're going to make our military so strong, so powerful, so big, nobody's going to mess with us. Nobody. Nobody's going to mess. But I was trying to figure it out, and it took a little while because we spend more money than anybody on the military. But you know what a lot of that money's spent on? Protecting other countries. We're protecting everybody. Now, Korea, I'm constantly ordering television sets because I do big jobs. Now I'm going to stop doing the big jobs. The big job is going to be the United States of America. That's the big job. I don't care about who the hell cares about television sets? But I ordered thousands and thousands of television sets. Thousands. They're all made in South Korea. So we have 28,000 soldiers on the line, right? 28,000 on the border. Between north, we have this maniac, and between south. We get peanuts compared to the cost. We spend all this money. And every time he raises his head, every single time he raises his head, we start sending our ships, our airplanes. What the hell do we get out of it? I mean, they got to take care of us. They got to take care of us. I don't mind protecting them. I think it's wonderful. But why the hell should we be losing all this money to protect South Korea? Why are we doing this? Why? Why? And I have buildings in South Korea. That's the end of those buildings, I guess. But I don't care. I don't care. But I have buildings in South Korea. They do terrifically. Trump Plaza. We have great jobs in South Korea. But you know what? They even can't. I know many people from South Korea. They can't understand how they get away with it, okay? They can't believe it. Don't forget, this is an economic behemoth. They make the ships of the world. They make so much of the electronics throughout the world. Then you look at Japan. We protect Japan. Most people don't even know. Do you know that we protect Japan? Does anybody in here? We protect Japan. Do you know that if Japan is attacked, we have to attack, and probably that's World War III. But if we're attacked, Japan does not have to help us. Does anybody know that? Does that sound like a fair deal? Somehow it's not so good, right? What kind of a deal is that? So if we get attacked, they don't have to do anything. If they get attacked, boom, get those ships, we're going to fight. What the hell are we doing? And then they send these cars by the millions. By the millions. And what do we send them? You know what we send them? Practically nothing. We send them practically, she says, money. Yeah, we give them a lot of money. We certainly give them our money. And then the worst abuser of all, of course, is China. China, it's unbelievable. So this is for years and years, they make trillions. The money they make is so incredible. We have rebuilt China. You go to China, I go to China. Their roads, their bridges, they build bridges like, I shouldn't use the term George Washington Bridge. They build bridges bigger than the George Washington Bridge. Bigger than any bridge we have. They build them like they're a little road someplace. They do it with the money they take out of our country. And they do it from other places. And they're very smart. And they're friends of mine. And they can't believe they get away with it, okay? I sell them apartments. I have the largest bank in the world, and it's from China. By the way, by far the largest bank. They're a tenant of mine. So I have a great relationship with China. They can't believe they get away. So we have a trade deficit with China that is beyond belief. I don't want to lose that kind of money. For what? We're losing $500 billion every year for the privilege of trade. Who the hell wants to trade like that? What do we get out of it? Besides that, I want Apple to make their damn computers and their phones and all of the things that they're doing here. I don't want them made over there. So we have a lot of things we can do. We can make it. I honestly believe, look, that's what I do. Somebody has said today, Pat Buchanan's a very good guy. He's been very, very supportive of what I've done and what I've said. And he said, it's a different time. He said, now people are tired of having bad trade deals and bad deals no matter where. Look at Sergeant Bergdahl. We get Bergdahl, a dirty, rotten traitor. No, think of it. Think of it. We get a dirty, rotten, no-good traitor. They get 5 of the best people they have, the greatest killers, these evil guys that they've wanted now for 9 years. They get 5, and we knew he was a traitor before we made the deal. Who would deal like this? They had a general, they had a colonel talking to the people, and how many people were killed looking for Sergeant Bergdahl? 5, and probably 6. Young, great people. And I watch their parents, and I see their parents, and I read about what's going on in those families, and it's a disgrace. We get nothing from anything. We don't make good deals anymore. We don't win anymore. And we're going to start winning. That's why on a Sunday morning, this place is packed, and every other place is packed. So we're going to start winning, and we're going to start making great deals. Now, when it started, I came down and I talked about trade. And don't worry, I can hit. Carl Icahn is a great guy, great businessman. I have many great businessmen. They're all backing me. They love what I'm saying. You know, we have companies now leaving the United States. You know, in the old days, they'd leave Reno for another location within the United States, right? Now they leave Reno for Ireland, for Asia, for different parts of Europe. They're not even going to the United States. That's really kicking us, right? They're leaving. Pfizer is leaving the United States. Thousands, big drug company, is leaving, going to move to Ireland. You know, we have $2.5 trillion from companies, company money. I think the number is going to be much larger than that when they check, because I don't think this government has any idea what the numbers are. They don't know how many illegal immigrants we have here. I've been hearing 11 million. How many years have we heard that number? Like 10? Okay. They have no idea what numbers. Just like the Obamacare website. $5 billion and it still doesn't work, okay? $5 billion. I have websites all over the place. You hire a guy, he sets up a website. Six minutes later, you have a website. Here they spent $5 billion on a website. And by the way, the people that built the website were very friendly with certain people in the administration. We do know that, okay? Okay? Stuff is not going to happen. And by the way, speaking of that, I'm self-funding my campaign, okay? I'm self-funding. People aren't giving me money. I have so many people wanting to give me, hey, Bush raises $128 million. Those guys that gave him that money have total control. Hillary Clinton raised 60 some odd million dollars, and now it's much higher. They have total control over her. 100% control. Marco, a lot of money from people. By the way, Ted Cruz has a lot of money from the oil interests. He's going to be good to oil. I'm going to be good to oil too, but not because I have to be. I'm going to be good to energy because I want energy to stay low. I want it. I love it. Okay? But Ted has received millions of dollars in his PAC from different people. Not a lot of people, a small group of people, which means he's controlled by these people. And you know, it's funny because in Iowa, you don't care so much, but in Iowa they do. He was totally opposed to ethanol. He was getting killed in Iowa. So yesterday he just came out in favor. I've changed my mind. I'm now in favor of ethanol. He just came out in favor of it. What kind of stuff is that? You know, in a certain way, it's nicer. You have, and we all change, and we're entitled to change. But you don't change with 2 weeks left before the election, right? You know, that's a little bit tough. But these people are all controlled. So I'm not getting any money from other than the tiny little donors where they send me $12 like this guy, obviously. Because, you know what? It's too expensive to send them the money back. It costs me more money. I have a woman sent me $17.50, and she writes like a 7-page letter. These people, and it's not a huge amount of money, but these people are really invested in the country. These are amazing people. But I'm self-funding my campaign. If I wasn't, I will tell you, if I wasn't, I would have the greatest war chest ever assembled. I am turning down money like it's you know, sort of like foreign to me. My whole life I take money. I'm greedy. I'm so greedy. I take money, take. Now all of a sudden, guys come in. We'd like to give you $10 million. I'm not taking it. Oh, I go, I'm not taking it. My whole life. And I greedy. But now I'm going to be greedy for the United States of America. No, I want to do it. We can turn it around fast. You have budgets that are so massive, such a waste of money. Where things get worse and go down. I mean, where things get better, where we can balance a budget quickly. How about these guys that say it's going to take 30 years to balance the budget? 30 years. 30 years. I mean, give me a break. So we're going to take care of people. So when I came down and I made the speech and I said, wow, this is amazing, I brought up the subject of illegal immigration, and boy, did I take it. I mean, oh, this place went wild. I tell the story all the time. Rush Limbaugh said, I have received more incoming than any human being he's ever seen. That was when I did the whole thing and the speech in Trump Tower, and I talked about illegal immigration. And then it turned out I was right. And they saw Kate, beautiful Kate in San Francisco, get shot in the back by a thug that should have never been allowed in this country. And they see, think of it, and they see all of the Jamil in Los Angeles. They see the woman recently, a 65-year-old veteran, a woman, 65-year-old veteran, raped, sodomized, and killed by an illegal immigrant, okay? And I'll tell you what, the people that are here, and I'm going to win the Hispanic vote because the Hispanics that are here legally, they're going to vote for Trump because I love them. And they love me. And they don't want their jobs taken away by other guys that come in. So we're going to build that wall, and we're going to have a big door in the wall. And we're going to have people come into the country, but they're coming into the country legally, like they have to, or we don't have a country. So when I started this whole thing, and it was, it's been a hell of a journey. Who would have thought it was going to turn out like this? I figured maybe I'd be, I'm used to winning in life. I like to win. I win, right? Even in tournaments, I win. I like to win. And I love winners. But I figured I'd be sort of hovering in the middle of the pack, and then maybe I'd get better, and then people would realize I'm actually much smarter than all these other people. And, it's funny. I went to the best guy. I went to the Wharton School of Finance, went to an Ivy League school, and they say, he's plain-spoken. I'm not plain-spoken. I have a vocabulary better than anybody in the press. I'm not plain. I went to an Ivy League school. I did great. I was good. It's funny. But they say he's plain-spoken. Now, in one way, that's nice. In another way, but here's how I'm plain-spoken. There are certain words, like describing our leadership, that I can come up. I used to use incompetent. But there's just no better word than the word stupid. There's just no better word. So, no, such stupid decisions have been made. I mean, overnight, we've made Iran a major, major, major power. It's a terror power. Overnight, we have made Iran into a major power. And I've been saying what a great deal. They get $150 billion. How about their self-inspection, right? They can self-inspect. We hear you're making nuclear weapons at such and such a site. Oh, we'll check and we'll call you back tomorrow. Oh, next day, ring, ring. Hello, this is Iran. No, we're not making. Oh, okay, thank you for. How stupid are we? How stupid are we? So we give them, and then they have the 24-day inspection period that doesn't start. It's a whole big process, right? And that's ridiculous. And we don't get back our wonderful, wonderful, wonderful prisoners/hostages. We don't even get them back because we never even asked for them during the negotiation. We never even asked for them. So we have 4 hostages. And right at the beginning, we should have asked for these hostages. And we would have said, listen, before we start the negotiation, how long has this been going on, by the way? This thing's been going on forever, this deal. This should have been a 1-day or a 1-week deal. This is years we're talking. Years. And by the way, they've already violated the deal. Have you heard that? And the administration is embarrassed to call it default because how do you default somebody where the ink isn't even dry? But the agreement has already been violated with its missiles and all the other stuff they're doing. So, you say right at the beginning, before we start, wonderful people, and by the way, the Persians are great negotiators, and Kerry did not read The Art of the Deal, but the Persians are great negotiators. But right at the beginning, you say, listen, before we start, you got our prisoners, we want them back. Used to be 3, now it's 4. We want them back. We got to get them back before we start. They're going to say no, 100%. They're going to say no. You're going to say, we got to get them. And they're going to say no. And then you go, bye-bye, we're leaving, bye. And you head back to the United States or wherever the hell you're going, and you go. And you leave. And then you call in, and you double up the sanctions, right? You double them up. Within 48 hours, you will get a phone call that we are pleased to give you back your hostages/prisoners, right? 100%. By the way, that's not 80% or 60% or 89%. It's not even 99%. 100%, you get them back very quickly. Now, when spoken to and when asked by these characters, these dishonest people, I'm glad. I almost said something, and it would have been a big story. I don't want. No, they're the worst. But when asked by these people why, he said, we didn't want to complicate the negotiations. Can you believe it? That was the answer. And Obama said the same thing. They didn't want to complicate these delicate negotiations where we gave on every single point. We'd ask, you can't do this. No. And we'd go, okay. And even during the negotiation, remember, they were dancing in the streets over in Iran. They were dancing in the streets, calling our people stupid, announcing what a great deal they're making, and we keep going back to the table. Who the hell would do that? Except people that don't know what they're doing, or people maybe with an even worse thing, which I don't believe. I don't believe. A lot of people think there's a more sinister thing. I don't believe. I think it's just incompetence, okay? I believe it's gross incompetence. So we make this deal. We make this deal. And then I said to myself, this is one of the worst deals I've ever seen, not between countries, but just deals as a deal. I study deals. I love deals. I read deals over the weekend. Do you believe that's what I do? Other people are reading novels or watching football. I love deals. But I said, that's got to be one of the worst deals ever made, and it is. And then I thought to myself, 2 weeks ago, I said, wait a minute, it's not the best deal for them, but they did make the best deal. What's the best deal? They got Iraq for nothing. They've been fighting forever. Go back and take a look at the history. Often different names, but the same thing. They fight. They go left. They go right. They go left. They go right. They throw gas. Saddam Hussein hits them with gas. Oh, that's a terrible thing. The gas killed people. They hit him with something else terrible. Then they stop for a couple of years. Then they go back and they fight. So we decapitated Iraq. So now Iran is just... So what happens? We gave them, by decapitating the one side that forever has held Iran at bay, we gave them Iraq, which, by the way, has the second largest oil reserves in the world. Okay? The second largest. So that's what we gave them. That's better than the deal they just made with us. So think of what, I mean, if this were a stock, it would have gone from 0 to 12 billion. I mean, think of what they've done to us. We've given them, because they're taking over, as sure as you're standing here. We didn't have room for chairs, by the way. I apologize. But should we keep going? Yes, absolutely, right? See? You know when I know it's time to stop? There's still people coming in. I know, and what the hell? It's a Sunday. Who the hell wants to watch these crummy games? I just want to watch at the end. And they are. By the way, okay, let me go there for a second. So we gave them Iraq. Let's end that story. We gave them Iraq. We're stupid. We gave them Iraq. Okay. I'll change things. Believe me, I'll change things. And again, we're going to be so respected. I don't want to use the word feared. We're going to be so. But I just said about a game. So I'm watching a game yesterday. What used to be considered a great tackle, a violent, head-on, violent. If that was done by Dick Butkus, it'd say he's the greatest player. If that were done by Lawrence Taylor, it was done by Lawrence Taylor and Dick Butkus. And Ray Nitschke, right? Ray Nitschke. Used to see these tackles, and it was incredible to watch, right? Now they tackle. Oh, head-on-head collision. 15-yard. The whole game is all screwed up. You say, wow, what a tackle. Bing, flag. Football's become soft. Football has become soft. Now, I'll be criticized for that. They'll say, oh, isn't that terrible? But football's become soft like our country has become soft. It's true. It's true. The outcome of games have been changed by what used to be phenomenal stuff. Now, these are rough guys. These guys want... what they're doing is incredible. But I looked at it, and I watched yesterday in particular. So many, right? So many flags. And I can imagine a guy like Lawrence Taylor and Dick Butkus, who was really rough. And some of these guys sitting there watching, wow, what a beautiful tackle. 15 yards, that's the game is over. You can't kick a field goal anymore. It's become weak. And you know what? It's going to affect the NFL. I don't even watch it as much anymore. It's going to affect the NFL. I don't watch it. The referees, they want to all throw flags so their wife sees them at home. Oh, there's my husband. It's true. He just broke up. He just gave a 15-yard penalty on one of the most beautiful tackles made this year, right? I mean, it's boring. But although I love Tom Brady, I got to tell you, I do love Tom. He's a great guy. But it's a different, it's different. But it's become soft, and our country's become soft. Our country has become soft. Do you know one of the reasons, this is true, reported by these people, one of the reasons we haven't bombed the oil over there, environmental impact. They didn't want to disturb the environment. No, this is true. Can you believe it? Okay, environmental impact. You know one of the reasons they never built the wall along the southern border to stop drugs and people and everything from coming in? The environmental impact study, they couldn't get it approved. It's true. And this was a while ago. They couldn't get an environmental impact study approved to build a wall, to save lives, to be good for our economy, to stop drug traffic. They couldn't get it because a snail or a turtle or a snake was in the way. And then you look at China in the South China Sea is building a military base in the middle of the frickin' sea. And they've got the biggest excavators, and they're ripping that thing, and they're dumping it and ripping and dumping and ripping. I have a feeling they didn't get an environmental impact study. What do you think? And this is what we're up against, folks. And by the way, it's going to have no impact on the sea. Trust me, okay? It's going to have no impact. It's like a little tiny dot. You don't even see it. But they're rearing their head. They're building a military base in the middle of the South China Sea. And Japan's not happy. And a lot of other people aren't happy. And they have no respect for us. So they're doing these things. And frankly, they're very far away from us. Some people could say, hey, that's your problem, right? They could say that. But they're building in the South China Sea a massive island. They started with a little, and they have it now really massive. For landing, they're building a big landing pad for military, all military. That's a lack of respect. But think of that. They're willing, they could do that, just rip the hell out of it and dump. Rip and dump. We can't put up a wall. We can't bomb an oil depot because the environment. We're going bad, folks. We're going soft. Just like the NFL. We're going soft. It's true. No, think of it. Am I right? Am I right? Am I right? What's happening to our country is bad. And if you study the history of the world's great powers over many years, over thousands of years, you'll see it's this kind of stuff that happened. They became soft, they became weak, and they disappeared. If I'm president of the United States, go out and register. Go out, you got to do it. You're not going to vote. You know what? You're not going to vote unless you register, so you got to do it immediately because soon you're not going to have time to register. If I become president of the United States, we are going to be so strong. We are going to be so respected. We're not going to be making these horrible, horrible, incompetent deals. We're going to be reversing the tables on a lot of people. We're going to be using our best and our brightest, not political hacks that know nothing about business. I'm not going to be controlled by anybody but you, by the people. And when Ford and when Nabisco want to move to Mexico, which they're doing, Ford's building a massive plant in Mexico, and then they're going to sell cars to us. No tax, no nothing. Go right over the border. What the hell good does that do us? Nabisco's closing a big plant, one of their big plants in Chicago, right? You know this. They're moving it to Mexico. How does that help us? Trust me, it doesn't help us. If I win and I become president, thank you. I'm trying to be nice. We got a hell of a shot. We're going to take our country back. We're going to make our country great again. We're going to make our country safe again. We're going to kick the shit out of ISIS quickly. We're going to win so much. We don't win anymore. We're going to win so much. We're going to win economically. We're going to win with trade. We're going to win with health care. We're going to terminate Obamacare and come up with something so much better. We're going to win at the border. We're going to seal up the border, and we're going to have great people come in, but they're coming in legally. We're going to win so much, win after win after win, that you're going to be begging me, please, Mr. President, let us lose once or twice. We can't stand it anymore. And I'm going to say, no way. We're going to keep winning. We're never going to lose. We're never, ever going to lose. Register and vote. I love you all.
You didn't, frankly, have the balls to put country before party.